Oh boy. What day? Oh, excuse me. Oops. Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Happy Valentine's.
Ah, Sun Wizard, yes, you are first. Riggs, thanks for the donation. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Well, a little early, but you know, a little early, but it's pretty good. Mr. M. Mooney, Mr. M. Toomey, Chrome, Dark Element, and Flashman. How's the element? How's the day tonight treating you? It's actually pretty good. Actually, okay. Oh, man. Woo. Working a little bit. Oh, hold on. Aha. Yeah. There we go. Well, hold on. Oh. Is it contract or is it expand? Oh, no. Did it the wrong way. Did it the wrong way. Yeah. I'll show you what I'm working on in a minute. I just gotta do it right. One of those. all right, guys, that Satan lives. That is, man, you guys got here quick. Like, I was a little late, so I didn't think a lot of people were going to show up. But, go show what I know. Hey, Liam. Oh, okay. So, what was Jack working on? Thinking that he had some time. Nope. Nope. Oh, I thought. Hold on. No. Okay. What the? Looks like I'm going to have to export it if I want to show it. Okay, we back. Okay, I think we back. We back.
My tax RTRN and felt like being irresponsible.
Oh, thanks, Riggs. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Come on. Oh, maybe I can't show you. Oh, that'd be a little sad. Hold on, maybe. Open with. Oh dear. Oh dear. Might not be able to do this. Hold on. All right. Can't be right. Can't be right. But no, not paint. All right, what if I try it this way? Jesus Christ. This is giving me some shit. Hang on, kids. Open with Photo. Window capture. Okay. All right, we do this way. All right, if we do in outrageous Slavic accent, maybe to give us the power. Oh. Opa, give us the power. Here we go. This is what I'm working on. This is part of the Kickstarter. I was doing a little trimming, a little bit of trimming on some of the graphics before I got on. Obviously, this is not 100% scale because it's meant to be scrolled down to. See, I was sharing the screen. It was just being a bitch. Because it's a very big file at the moment. And so using big Photoshop file and OBS, not so good. You know, I have little problems. And so try to change to viewable format and then give other problems. So just little taste, let you know how much work going into Babylon. Babylon, yes. Oh my God. Whew, I got to be honest. I never thought I would get to like. I didn't even think I'd get to this stage. Shikabriki. Oh, thank you, Delta.
Satan, Satan,
Thank you, Chrome
Satan.
Bison. Thank you, Chrome Bison. I appreciate it. Oh. Having a lot of fun, working on it, but man, it's a little worry. I worry a lot. Random question, but are you into ARGs at all? I am not. I'm actually not into ARGs. I don't like. I like having this very clear definition between the fictional and the non-fictional. You know, especially now where it seems like everyone's living in their own version of reality. Or actually, let's be real honest. Politics is right now blends reality and fiction a lot. So I like to have that clear distinction between ARG is an alternate reality game or augmented reality game, depending on who you ask. For example, like Pokemon Go is probably the easiest non-controversial answer to this. That's the one everyone knows. Yeah. ARG's always been like kind of a horror subgenre. But I don't like them. I don't like them. I like having the fictional and the non-fictional very clearly delineated, just in case a monster actually does try to come and get me. And I feel like the blurring of reality and fiction is what causes our current political climate. And I'm not willing to get lost in that. I refuse to get lost in that. It's too much of an ask, you know. Don't you mean Pokemon Go to the polls? I know what you mean, right? And that's actually another thing. When you're dealing in ARGs, you have to think about who is doing what to you, to your sense of reality. Big important question, because we never actually do. You will never see an ARG that is designed to get you to actually go to the polls, for example. You will never find one that will actually help you engage with democracy or participatory government or something like that. You know, for example, we could do things like that. Like like for example, what if like World of Warcraft or something gave you a special mount just for voting? Not who you voted for, but just going. You could do that. You could design something like that. But that's not the kind of thing that they want to do, and they never will, and no one ever will, because there's no money in it. You know, And our current culture is so geared towards money, it's hard to get people to motivate through other means, even though you could. Your biggest problem would be like legally you couldn't do that and to encourage people to vote for one person or another. You would have to be incredibly nonpartisan. Oh, how do they pull off these huge ARGs with so little money? There's money, but it doesn't come from you. You're the product. That's the other thing I don't like about them. You, the player, are not the customer. You're the product. Yeah, I did a reverse poll tax so that you had to pay a fine if you didn't want to vote. Oh. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, but to answer your question, Mr. M to me, it's because in an ARG, the player is the product. The player's information that the ARG collects is the product. That's how it's done. Information economy, man. And that's the other reason I don't like them. Not only does it mess with your sense of reality, which I'm not, it's very weird. Like, I'm very big into psychedelia. I like the psychedelic. But I have a very, very, very good idea in the psychedelic realm what is real and what is not. Or rather, what I like to say, what is hard fact and what isn't. But I'm also one of those people that doesn't believe that. Sorry, I'm also one of those people that believes that beliefs affect reality, but not facts. They don't change facts, but they do change your perception of reality and therefore change reality as an indirect result. Um, I'm not talking like Heisenberg uncertainty principle or anything like that. Because most people don't understand what the Heisenberg uncertainty principle is. That's another issue. But for example, something that is only real because you believe in it or because of the effect it has on your mind is art. You know, art is a real thing that has an unreal effect on people. No, I wouldn't even say hard fact versus fluid fact. I say hard fact because it's undeniable. Like, if you deny them, you're an idiot. Like, rock is hard. Gravity works. This is book. Like very, 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 very simple things that it could be easy to lose track of. in an altered state. Like, you don't actually, your DNA doesn't change based on some sort of drug that you took. Radiation does not, certain types of radiation do not change your genetic structure. You know, radiation does not change your genetic structure. Certain types of radiation destroy the bonds of your genes. That's different. One does not mutate technically. Not what we mean when we say a mutant. Like, once you were born, you do not mutate, and you cannot mutate. You can only mutate between generations. Yeah, there are chemicals that destroy DNA, totally. Yeah. But there's nothing that alters your genetic code that we found. Meddling with worldviews is actually fantastically easy. Yeah, belief in functional government, friendly neighborhoods, meddling with worldviews. Yeah. All that's very fluid, and that only exists because of belief. Love, another great example. Like, love exists because we believe it exists. You know, I can even give religious people that amount of leeway when it comes to their gods. Is it possible a god could exist simply because you believe in it? Yes. But then you have to take responsibility for that belief still. You know what I mean? Like if your God tells you to do something, you're still responsible for what it tells you to do. Because it exists because you believe in it. You can withhold your belief from some bullshit. You know? They did an experiment on memory and found it was super easy to implant false memories. Yeah, it is, actually. It is. Like, that's the other thing. You can't change the past, but you can change the memory of the past. Because it changes naturally over time, you know? So it can be affected. Another form of this type of thing is emotional connections, or emotional, not connections, associations. Emotional associations can be changed. Now, some emotional associations can be changed easier than others, a lot easier than others. And there are a lot of things that we think are emotional associations that aren't. Like, for example, what gender you feel you are is not actually the same thing. There is a thing outside of your emotions and possibly outside of your beliefs that tells you, the individual, what gender you are. And it's very, 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 very deeply ingrained. It's flexible, but it's ingrained. Like, it's hard, it's almost hardwired. Like, you exist in the body of a species that reproduces sexually, you have this. You know, you have a gender identity no matter what it is. You have it. Nature says you have it. Your genetic code says that you have this identity. Not necessarily one identity or the other, but that you have one. At least that's how it seems to work. Yeah, every culture gets excited by red, and relaxed by blue, except yeah. That's actually a really good. That's actually a decent example there, Riggs. Everyone gets excited by red and relaxed by blue, unless something else says otherwise. Yeah, our associations are very strange. They're very strange. They're very complicated. That's why we have these people called artists and mystics whose entire fucking deal is playing with and interpreting those symbols. Yeah, there are no universals, only near universals. And universals, as far as we can tell, like, to me, the true universals are like, they are the things that we can't deny. Or rather, they are the things that if we deny them, we're stupid. The sun, the earth is round. The moon is, there's a moon. The moon orbits the earth. Those kinds of things. Acids are bad to touch. Acid destroys molecular bonds. Or is it molecular? Or is it chemical bonds? I forget. I forget if there's a difference. But they dissolve things what bond other things together. That's an acid. Hell, like, here's where it gets really weird. Sometimes the thing that can't be denied, that is a hard reality, isn't even a thing you can touch. Sometimes they are concepts that sometimes sometimes they're patterns. For example, all things are relative. Everything's relative. The big Einstein breakthrough. It's all relative. Wait, it's only real because some things are real because they're relative to each other? Yes. Well, how do you know? How do we know this? Because it behaves that way. We haven't found the exception yet. Yeah, acids tear apart molecular bonds. But then we get into the realm of the mind. Not necessarily, not just the brain, but the mind, the imagination. There's a difference between the imagination and the brain, even if they're related. Just like there's a difference between your insulin level and your blood sugar, even though they're different, but they're directly related. Oh, speaking of which, take my blood sugar. I gotta do that thing. But there's a thing that's always related but they're not the same thing. But you can make predictions about one by knowing the other. Uh-oh. There's a little stabby thing. Oh, there's a little stabby thing. You know, and I'm not an expert, but my I'm not an expert, but my guess, and this is a guess, and I'm guessing about something I'm not literally an expert in. I'm just trying to suss it out. Is that gender identity is a function of the brain, not the mind, but the brain. Like there is a thing in your brain that tells you what gender identity you are. If it goes one way, it skews towards masculine. It skews towards masculine. If it goes another way, it skews towards feminine. And even though we call it the autism spectrum, there are some people that say that's not actually a spectrum. I don't know. But I think that gender actually is. I think gender actually is a spectrum because it's got so many little moving parts. Especially when we get to how we gender expression, which uh-oh. I better take that again. Okay. No. Okay, my blood sugar's a little high. We're feeling okay, so that's good, but probably going to take my blood sugar again in an hour to see if it lowers because I definitely don't want it to rise. I did have an unusual amount of carbs today, so that's probably part of it. Had a lot of rice and some sweets. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just gotta watch it. Like if it goes up much more, then yeah, I'll have to go. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's usually determined by prenatal postnatal hormones. Yeah, which is brain stuff. That's brain stuff. Like I said, hardwired. It's something that's not as easy to change. But even then, like your gender identity doesn't the words and the expression around it change, but it tends to stay within a certain range. Like if you think of if you actually think of gender as a spectrum, or at least a spectrum between two binary points, one being masculine, the other being feminine. I think that no matter where you are on that spectrum, you have this bit of you have a certain amount of wiggle. And I think some people have more wiggle than others. You know, some people are born with a decent amount of wiggle, and some people not so much wiggle. You know, you know, but I think that center point that you tend to land in is determined. I I don't think that point that you revolve that center point that you wiggle around. I don't think that moves very much. I I hope that makes sense. You know, because I know a lot of people who identify as male or female whose gender expression is more flexible. Like you tend to see this with a lot of bisexuals, actually. Their gender expression, our gender expression, tends to be much more flexible. Which, you know, makes a certain amount of sense given our sexual preferences. Your insurance is dragging their feet on paying for a glucose monitor? What you mean, like? You mean like this thing, or do you mean like the one that you like stick on your arm, and stays there for 2 weeks? So I would love. I can't get that either. I would love one. I would fucking love one of those to have the motherfucker pay for one of those. Both? Continuous glucose monitoring. Well, I mean, to be totally honest, this wasn't that expensive. You know, let me look this up. Do 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 do. Yeah, yeah. These the whole kit, like this and the pen and the strips and the needles and all that. That's only like $24. You know, so these aren't very expensive. The these are the glucose tablets. What are those things called? Glucose monitor permanent? I don't know. Continuous. Okay. The continuous glucose monitor. Yeah, without insurance, it's like $377, and it only lasts a month. Fuckers. Yeah, I can't get mine to pay for it either. $400 for a continuous glucose monitor. I mean, I would love one of those. Like, I used one of those because a friend of mine had an extra. It was great. It was absolutely great. I hate having to like stick myself and all that jazz, you know. $75 every other week. Oh, geez. Oh, oh, that's not cool, Riggs. I'm sorry. Hey, cute little cat girl, what's up? All right, let's see where we are. I know it hasn't been that long, but I'm like feeling a little fidgety. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. No dessert for me. Hmm. Okay, be right back. Phil. Oh man. Yeah, I definitely was playing a little fast and loose with my blood sugar today. Well, so we gotta stop doing that. Nothing much ironic. You're talking about diabetes. I just went yesterday to get my blood work done. Oh man, get your A1C. I actually don't know what my A1C is because when they gave it to me, I was already in the hospital. So I have to have my blood work done again in order to get it done, and I keep not doing it. Maybe I'll try to get it done tomorrow. 6 is ideal. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know where I am. Blood sugar monitors become latest wellness trend. Oh, fuck you. Wellness trend. Jesus Christ. Fuck your wellness. You know when you're well? When you're not sick. What? You know. Oh.
Playtex, what do you?
Just play this again.
I go inside, city waitress, Shashik, straight up, no plans. And he say, of course, Mr. Boris, chicken or beef? Do I look like it? How is it? Pork, of course. I'm sorry, sir, we not have pork. What you mean not have pork, pig meat on a stick. And he say, no. And I say, yes. He say, there is no pork. I say, you better get some pork before I get angry. He said he only have chicken or beef. I say, you're not one caloric bird. Пригать whole pig, carve out what I need. And he said, no, there is no pork at all. But I need my meat, I need my nutrient. I am big slave man. He said, so am I. It is the law. It's the what? So I left and never came back. The end.
Oh. God damn it. I still got this stuck in my head. All right, see if we can get away with 5 seconds. Got that stuck in my head. Yeah, we got that. We got ourselves a diabetes hipster over here. What the fuck? You know, like. It's an open secret that everyone is juicing at Hollywood's. You don't look like a Greek statue naturally. Well, no, I mean, no. No, but I mean, like, come on, man. Like, only in America do you get, being rich, you get to fucking pretend to be sick. What do I think of Solar Punk? Here's what I think of Solar Punk. It's just too fucking bright and cheery for me. I am night person. I am night person. I am not day person. I think it's very cute. Like, I think Solar Punk is very cute. But I don't see the punk. It looks a little too cozy for me. You know, like, to me, punk is not cozy. And Solar Punk is very cozy. You know. There's also Lunar Punk as well. Well, what's that? Is that like Solar Punk, but with the moon?
Satan!
Oh, hey, Bronson.
In the haunted mansion when Eddie Murphy goes down in the mausoleum to retrieve a key, in the manor Ramsley uses his dark magic to bring the zombies to life. Can you share your thoughts on that scene?
That's definitely what happened. His sibling aesthetic to Solar Punk. Okay, yeah, so it's just basically the same thing with the moon. A little too cozy. I mean, to be called punk, I don't have a problem with it otherwise. Steampunk, I thought, was a lot closer to the mark of actually being punk. You know, because it at least had the, like, big machine. It had machines and shit, so it shared that with cyberpunk. But with the connection with that's like kind of punk by second hand. I always wanted to take steampunk in a more punk direction. You know, like pink mohawk it up more. Let's see. Like a little more Abney Park. Well, at that point, Riggs, that's just science fiction. That's just science fiction horror. You know, like nothing wrong with it. Just we don't need a word for it. Solar pop, that might be a little ungenerous, but I like solar folk.
This world's filled with rust. I could drown in this dust. I need to see the Bhutan sky. I hear my soul groan. I feel my muscles moan. If I can't wander, I will die. I could wander alone, or take my whole damn home. I could give a monkey's eye.
Do I recommend any steampunk games?
A song is in my ear. I will kiss the space goodbye. This world is filled with islands, little specks of sand, mountain peaks in a cloudy sky. Each one's a different world, and so my sails unfurl.
Oh, this is Wanderlust by Abney Park.
High. And I am feeling stagnant, my lungs are filled with mud. I dream of bitching.
Haunted Mansion is way worse than Vampire in Brooklyn.
And I am feeling down, get my feet off the ground, throw my head back to the sky. And
Does BioShock count as steampunk? That's an interesting question. I don't know, but BioShock Infinite definitely is steampunk. Like BioShock Infinite, definitely steampunk. The original BioShock, that's debatable. Yeah. Oh, you specified BioShock Infinite. Sorry, I missed that part. Yes, yeah, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. Yeah, BioShock literally has pipe puzzles, but like it's not the original BioShock, like I said, that's a harder definition. It kind of stands by itself, but BioShock Infinite is definitely steampunk. Yeah, Art Deco punk, maybe. Yeah, I could go with that. I could go with that, Sun Wizard, for the original BioShock. Yeah, I actually like BioShock Infinite. I haven't played it all the way through, but I liked it. It unfortunately kind of like BioShock Infinite is interesting in that you're playing the sidekick. You know, it's kind of like Big Trouble in Little China that way. You know, like Jack Burton's the sidekick. He's the sidekick who's the main character. BioShock Infinite has the same thing. Um Like, that aspect of it I thought was a little hackneyed, but the setting is great. You know, BioShock Infinite also has the aspect of hacking, has an aspect of hacking the original BioShock didn't. You know, and that comes in with the whole like timeline thing. You're essentially hacking time. Yeah. Well, Sun Wizard, like, you know, Art Deco elves and Art Deco dwarves, that was actually something that I experimented with in a previous game I was working on that was never published, called Praxis. Yeah, we experimented with that. It was actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't think it was the right time for the game. We were a little too late on the steampunk trend. You know, we didn't get it finished, so you know we had some problems there. Let's see, where is that? Praxis archives. Damn, still have all this shit. But where is? But I don't know where I put. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I've opened up any of the documents. I can't find any of the art we did. Um, RPG writing, Praxis, art. Oh, here we go. You know, I can show you some of this. Let's see, Emily Martin was our big artist on this. Open with photos. All right, let me see if I can get this up. Is it gonna show me? Oh no, I have to actually like I have to actually make it visible. Hang on. Like, here was one. Here was our concept for the dwarves. We had some others. Where are they? Ah, the gnomes. The gnomes. I really liked the gnomes. One of the things I thought was really funny is a lot of the concepts that we came up with Praxis would eventually show up in World of Warcraft. So we were definitely like tapping into something. I don't think they stole it. I mean, these were not. We had this thing with the gnomes where their gender identity was based on what method of flight they used. Yeah, and we were trying to figure out a way to let people fuck with that. Like, the part of the thing was like, if you're a boy, you have ornithopter wings. You made like a Da Vinci device. But if you were a girl, you made a rocket pack. You know, and that's how the dwarves gender identified each other. They had other things as well, but like that was like the big one. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was a monster that we did, or a creature rather. Yeah, the Ether Leviathan, or the Void Leviathan. This is also Emily Martin. Gosh, she's so good. Let's see, what was our? Oh, I have to open it up if I'm going to actually show it. Hold on. Ugh. No. Okay, I have to. Yeah, I had to bring that up again. Yeah, here are orcs and elves. Like we never quite settled on what the male orcs looked like, but we decided what the female orcs looked like. Like the female orcs were based on lions, were based on female lions, which I thought was really cool. That was Emily's idea. Let's see. Let's see. I know we had a guy named Justin Hernandez who was working on the space elves. Um, God, he had a cool idea for the space elves. Like he had this whole idea of like that the space elves were like these kind of like techno witch doctors, which was just such a cool idea. Paul Allen did a lot of our did a lot of the tech and did some of the tech and spaceships. My friend Paul Allen, who I haven't seen in a while, actually. I wonder what that guy's up to. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, here was his like his some of the gear that he created. How often do I get to play tabletop with the games with my friends? About once a week. About once a week. One of the reasons I don't stream on weekends is because that's what I'm doing. Now I know. Let me see, Martin. I know that there is a. Yeah, this. Oh, here was another one of Emily's. We had a race called the Noctis. Who were these like people made of living shadow. They start out as like these little tadpole creatures, and then they start to mutate. Now, there was one picture in particular that was like super awesome. And is this it? Oh, thanks, man.
It is quite hot. So.
Okay. Down over there. No, that's not it. That's not it. Steampunk Empire, Dark Age Orc. Dark Age Orc. Oh, that looks like mine. Ew. Not that great. God, where is that one? There's one that Emily did that was just fucking amazing. Ah, found it. Found it. Yeah, she did a complete color illustration of one of the female orcs. Look at that. Fucking look at that. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? This one was just my favorite. Just so good. Oh, I found some more of her gnomes. Hold on, there's more to this. And her art deco like fucking rocket packs were just insane. You know, the girl gnomes. Yeah, I'll show some of the stuff that I did, but it's not as good. Okay, here's one. Here's one that's not too bad. There we go. Wow, I scanned this in small. Yeah, we had a clockwork race. They were just called the Clockwork. Yeah. Emily also did a lot of work on the Noctis. Yeah, here's the nightmare people. The shadow people. You know, like she had this idea of making them like luminous fish. I always like this Noctis boy. I was like, oof, oof. And the fact that he had a glow in the dark cock, he had a luminous cock, was pretty good. Yeah, these are some like concept sketches she had. But I mean, like these ones in particular, like of the Noctis, that they were cool. You know, she had this idea that the psychics, because there were going to be psychic powers, like some of their psychics had like the translucent skull of like some of those deep sea fish, so you could literally see inside their eyes and their brains, you know. And you got this big guy who she just called the Nightmare Merchant. That was totally her thing. Like that was her thing, like the Nightmare Merchants, you know, like. Let's see, I know I did more pictures. Did I save any of them? Excuse me. Maybe let me take a quick thing, see if I put it in any of my party invite, apprehensive films, business records, change concept work, contracts, girl witch, erotic musings. Oh, my old website. Little vampire girl, love nest. What was love nest? Oh shit. Oh my god. All right, this isn't Praxis stuff, but this is a picture. This is a picture I did a long ass time ago. From a This is another one of those things that came from an idea that never happened. It's called Dojin City. It was a comic that I never did. Oh, Praxis. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I was proud of the color scheme. It was. Let's see. This was a picture that I started for Praxis and never fucking finished. Yeah, didn't even get past the rough on that one. This one I did finish, but I wasn't super happy with it. But like if I had done this for like a client, I would have been happy. I would have been pretty happy. But it was a personal piece, so I'm not that happy with it. This was also for Praxis. Because we were definitely going to have like witch doctors and things like that. Oh God, this one was just a general steampunk picture. Hang on. That was just a general steampunk pinup. Now, somewhere in here, I have an unfinished cityscape. Oh, how much stuff has gone due to dead hard drives? Oh, a lot. A lot. Like, I lost the whole first season of the Count Jackula show due to a dead hard drive. It's not. Praxis, is this really all that's in here? Wow. I could have sworn, like, I know I did a cityscape. I didn't finish it. It's an unfinished cityscape. What am I doing looking in? I should be looking in Bridge. Hold on. This PC. Blit. What the hell? User. Default jack. We have desktop, personal drive, contacts, pictures, Dropbox. Saved game documents. All right, so we got documents. Nightbot. What the fuck? All right, this might actually. Local content Z. What the fuck? All right, what about D? Saved games, desktop, darkest machines, program files, new preferences. All right, we got libraries, documents. Okay. Public documents? Oh, long-term feedback hub, cyberlink, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm finding a lot of other lost shit, but not what I'm looking for. Public documents, public downloads, current TV, please stack creative. No idea what that is. Huh. All right, let's show me properties. Where is this? E. Okay, so I'm in totally the wrong thing. E documents. Oh, art of. Here we go. All right, what we got here? Oh my God. Oh my God, I found another one from the era that I did Love Nest. Ich spürt es. Ooh, this might get a little dicey. Do I dare? Yes, we dare. We dare. We document. We put in here. Okay, then we close that. Shave ourselves. Yo, put on with. Open with. Browse. On. Program file. God damn it. Got to make preview. No rating. Okay. All right. I guess we just do it this way then. Da 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 da. Photoshop. 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 Nope. Nope, not let me do it. Whew, man, this one's got a lot of problems. It's an unview. Medium icon. No. What? Okay, here we go. Better. Here we go. Better. There we go. Once again, yeah, these are from early. These are from early days. I don't know if I am really any better these days because I haven't really been practicing. Like I said, I gave up like illustration a long time ago. Like that, these were done like before the Count Jackula show. You like the blimps holding up the blimps? Cute touch. Thank you. I was. Yes. Oh, no, I don't need to share that. I'm trying to put it on the thing. Open with. Sun Wizard's like, yellow. Yeah, Larry Elmore liked this one too. Let's see. Yeah, this is one I did in traditional, that I did in acrylics. I have the original somewhere. I like the colors on her, like, I like the colors I used for her, but I don't like the way her face ended up. It didn't quite work. The color choices I thought were pretty good on her, but like overall, like, I didn't like the way I rendered her face. I feel like I made her too severe. I didn't like how severe I made her. Now, this one, this was a gouache painting I did. This was a gouache painting I did of the same character from the blimp picture. I called her Zeppelina. see. Oh, here's. Oh my God. Some of my old pen and ink work. I did not like. All right, this one is not good, but I did it for a friend who has a comic book called Sonambulo, which is about a Mexican wrestler that can see people's dreams. It's super cool. He also fights werewolves with a folding chair. Um, yeah, Sonambulo. He's like a noir character. He wears a fedora, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I gave him spats because I was like, he should wear spats. I don't know why I gave the girl Converse. I really should have like. I'm somewhat happy with the way Sonambulo himself turned out, but I didn't like the way anything else turned out. Oh, is this Rose in the Sunset? It is. Oh my God. No, I should get a. Here we go. That's a better one. Yeah, the girl who the sitting on the couch one, like that was a character I created called Rose. Rose Thorn for a comic project that never came to fruition. It's one of my first digital pictures, actually. I don't mind her chunky legs, but I think I would have done like, yeah, I would have done this one way differently. Like she's like this front leg is way too big, even for forced perspective. I would have made her like she was supposed to have like kind of thick thighs, but like it kind of got away from me, you know. I hate the grass. I'm not a big fan of the smooth coloration on the buildings behind her, although I am happy with the forced perspective. You know, yeah, I don't mind the design of the buildings, but the actual rendering, I'm no, not a fan of anymore. Hey, Jack, here's a question. If you had to live one 80s children's cartoon, what would you choose and what would you do? Ooh, um, wow. One 80s children cartoon. Maybe She-Ra, because I'd be surrounded by hot chicks all the time. One of them's got to be into guys. Oh, here's one that I actually. Here's one that I was actually pretty proud of. This is a watercolor painting. Let me see if I can find a. Let me open a better version of that. Open up. Maybe I don't have a good version of this one. Can't open those. Those are TIFF files. All right, I'll just show you like one of the lower res ones. Oh, that one's too low res. Hold on. gotta at least be able to see something. There we go. This is at least something. Man. Yeah, this was an actual like pencil and watercolor painting that I did. They're all lesbians, Jack. I know, right? Oh God, this one. This is one that was like done for praxis. This is probably me at my peak. It still lacks something. It has something a lot of the others don't have, but like something was never quite right with it. I think the colors never quite popped. Yeah, but I was I was reasonably pleased with that. Like, I tried so hard on so many of these things, which I ultimately was kind of like one of the reasons was one of the reasons I kind of quit trying to be a professional illustrator. Huh, this one's a lot more finished than I realized. This was okay, this next one's like a 40K one I did. Armies of Chaos. Slaanesh. Armies of Slaanesh. Like, that one's not too bad. It's unfinished. It's definitely unfinished, but like, it's a lot more finished than I realized it was. Oh, I don't think I could show this one. No. No, this one's too graphic. Oh, does it have a... Huh. Wait, I have a censored version. It's not the best, but... Oh, really? Is it? Oh, no, there we go. This weird demon girl. Oh my god. Little sketchbook. I don't know what that is. Oh, hey. Here's another one. That was from a change. That was for a changeling game. That's for a changeling game. This was, as you can tell, I'm this little guy right here. I actually gave Queen of Trash a print of this. She apparently hangs it in her yeah, apparently hangs in her house. Mm. Oh god. The Cinema Insomnia cover. Oh god, wow. Yeah, I did a Cinema Insomnia cover for Santa Claus versus the Martians. Not my best. Not my best. I don't know why. I did these always did these elliptical belts for some reason. I don't know why I did that. That wasn't even the best cover I did for like apprehensive films. I think the best one I did was for Crippled Masters 2. You know, which one was the final? Yeah, this one. Yeah, here we go. Gotta keep. I want to thank you for being willing to go down this trip down memory lane with me. That was probably the best cover I did. This one probably had. Who is calling me? It is you. They keep hearing phone. Phone. Come on, wait. You hear phone beep. Who is calling? Oh. Oh shit, what's this? I might have to go. Hold on. I gotta check something out. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I might have to go all the same. Okay. Ah. Well, I'm glad you. Wait, did I? I'm glad you're, yeah, like enjoying some of this stuff. Like, you get to see a bit of what I was doing before the Count Jackula show. Oh my God. I remember I gave a print of this to Mr. Lobo. It actually ended up in the background of the show. This was another watercolor, pencil watercolor. I don't know why I always did these chunky hands. I never was able to do like these beautiful, delicate hands. They're always like kind of chunky and weird, and I don't know why. This one was a little bit based on Ex-Girlfriend. Like particularly the face. Not that she didn't have like a curvy figure, but like it was mainly the face that I was using. Um is another girl I did. fetish pirate girl. Based a little bit on the Countess. Let's see. Let's go end it with this one. This is like a pencil drawing I did that I was always kind of proud of because like everything looked like the way I wanted it to. The Countess always said my pencil drawings looked better than my finished works. And she's probably right. She always said there was something a little bit more lively about them. I could never figure out what exactly that was, but she was right. Ugh. Just very, very heavy metal. I like heavy metal magazines quite a lot. You might have been able to tell. All right. See, it's been long enough. Let me see what the. See what the old blood sugar says. Okay, we're back down to 100. We're good. Woo! A little spooky. Mmm. Ginger chicken soup. So yeah, that's stuff from my old like illustration career. Never really like never fucking like I never really got anywhere. You know, I got a few gigs, but like nothing like nothing real good, you know. Wasn't really able to like keep things up. This is a pretty good. This is another older illustration that I really like. The problem is, only one problem. Can't really show. Can't really show. A little too risque. Maybe if we export this. Okay. Export. Here we go. Delete that because we don't want that on. Okay. All right. One last one. This was absolutely like, this was probably the last illustration I ever did. It was sketched out in pencil and then painted digitally. It was for a candle that sits on my altar. It's for Lilith. And you can see the bits I just censored. So, Jack, question, I don't know if you answer this, but there will be any type of different were people. Like were dinosaurs, were bunnies. We're going to stick to horror theme. The theme of Babylon is horror. So you're not going to see like were rabbits or anything like that. But there are werewolves. You may see other were creatures that appear in folklore. Yeah, it's hard to see in, this is going to be really funny. It's really hard to see in the, version that's being streamed, but I was really proud of her eyes. It's hard to see it. There's a lot of detail in the eyes, like in this area, that I was really proud of. Yeah, I like the headdress as well. I was pretty proud of the headdress. You know, I don't know why I gave her dreadlocks, but I thought she looked really pretty with dreadlocks. You know, particularly with like a light blue kind of outline of them. I gave her this ridiculously small waist. Yeah, a little feather, a little fluffy collar. I don't know why I gave her like a fluffy collar, but I remember that. I do know why I gave her like a leather bra, a leather like bralette thing, you know. I probably could have put a little bit more red in these golden areas, but by that point, like I was like kind of done. I needed to finish the picture. I think about the only thing I didn't do was the frame. I found that from a clip art book. Everything else I did, though. Oh, sorry. I'm just realizing I'm looking at the kerning of the word Lilith. Ooh. All right, let that happen. I'm glad you liked. I'm glad huge fan of Emmanuel Tagliaetti. Ooh, Taglietti. Okay, let me check that out. Oh, this guy. Yeah. Yeah, it does like did those classical like monster with hot chick pictures. Yeah, okay, like we got his Instagram, so I could definitely like show that. Hold on. All right. A lot of women being are the women being terrorized or are they fucking role playing? Sex or are they sexy role playing? You decide. Like this woman being done by the mummy over here. I mean, like you can't tell me she was. No, 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 no. She's into that. This one's into that. You know, like ooh, mummy's coming to fuck me. Better make sure I'm properly limber. You know. I don't know what's going on with this police chick with crocodiles, but I'm liking it. I wouldn't say he looks like a common internet artist. You know, this guy's actually pretty top tier. Like, no, this girl in the bride outfit with Dracula about to take a bite of her ass, she's totally into that shit. Ooh, like that one. Now I guarantee you the model here was into this. We're going to sit down here. A book between my legs that says Lucifer. I'll do it because I feel like it is artistically justified. You mean the subject matter? Well, my God, I love the. Oh my God, can you see that? Can you see the dude in the background there? I love the expression of. I love that guy's face. Oh, it's the man himself. Old Italian guy. Oh, here's a fantasy I have. Although I don't want to wear this outfit. I'd wear a different outfit. I mean, like, all right. So if I was to go to the bordello, um, and hire me a bunch of sex workers at said bordello, I would want to do something like this. Like we're gonna hang out You know, maybe get high, drunk and high. Every I don't care if we, you know, I mean, you know, I might want some sex, but like, you know, like I'm not gonna force it. Whatever happens, happens. You know, and if we just talk the night away like a bunch of high morons, I'm cool. I wouldn't mind getting my dick sucked, but like, you know. Oh, that's cool. That's cool in a fucked up way. That's hot in a super fucked up way, you know. Like this one that makes me uncomfortable, you know. This is Tuesday. For me, this is Tuesday. I'm that skeleton guy. Although I don't think the Countess ever has that expression when I do it. I think it's more like, ooh. I know. I like pictures of women jerking off. I don't know what this is for, but I kind of like it. It's just like a little cat man on this skull throne, random lizard and random chicks hanging out. Like that's kind of cool. Oh my god, there's more to that picture of that girl. Of the vampire girl with the clown makeup on. Nice. Let's see. Oh, watercolors. Yeah, god damn, these sketches look better than my finished work. Then again, that when you practice that long and you're that good. All right. Hey, thank you for turning me on to that, Mallory. I actually do think I got someone gave me. Here's the thing. I don't know if I have his, but I definitely have some of the sex and horror art of books. There are actually several of them. I have like two. Um I don't think I have his though. I have a couple of others. But I recognize that series. Oh man, hold on. Gotta show this one. Blonde chicks and their heavy metal boyfriend, am I right? Ah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for showing me that. Yeah, I really love that stuff. Really love it. And one of the things that I do that's a little weird, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I tend to work really when I do digital pictures, I work really big. I work in really big file sizes. Because I find it allows me to get into like a level of detail that I can't normally get. When I say like large file sizes, we're talking about like a gigabyte. But I really wanted to remember what I was talking when we were looking at the picture of Lilith and I was talking about the detail of her face. Yeah, I kind of wanted to show off. I kind of want to show off a little bit. Yeah, I kind of want to show off a little bit, like because I got really into the bounce shadows and this idea that like she was kind of like drinking so much blood it was also coming out of her nose and her eyes. You know, I apparently apparently when I was doing this picture I did this thing where it looks like got she looks like she's like her lids are half closed but they're not. Her eyes are actually completely open. That's just like the shadows just really dark over the top part of her eyes. So she can either be like just looking at you wantonly or like just taking you in, just looking at you. Yeah, this version makes it look a little darker than it really is. Well, I mean, it's hard to say what it really is when it comes to like digital painting, but like, you know, if we get in really close, you could see that her eyes are actually intended to be all the way open. Have I ever talked to Lilith in a vision? All the time. 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 She is a bit of a muse is the wrong word. You got chased by a shark man? Oh, geez. With a was it like king shark? Were they trying to eat you, or was it like friendly? Maybe I should lighten up her face in a final. Make it a little bit more obvious that her eyes are open. Just a little bit. This is me going over old work. You know, it's probably one of my best faces. I think this probably is my best face. Oh, the hammerhead protecting the realm of water. Oh, the undines, the water sprites, the water spirits. Yeah, that's probably my best painted face. All right, I'm gonna get. Hold on. Actually, do I have? Oh, I got some liquid right here. Never mind. Leave her up there looking at you. Let her determine if she likes what she sees. It's kind of funny looking at the old work and going like, no, there were some things that were working. Yeah. I wasn't talentless. It just I forget who brought it up. Someone mentioned, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It was like I forget which one of you said this, and if you're in the chat, I'm very sorry, but you were like, it sounded like you mentioned like it sounded like you were chasing something you were never going to get to. And that really resonated when it came to like my careers, you know, like the video stuff, the old illustration career, like all that jazz. Because I realized, no, actually, yeah, that was completely right. That was completely right. I was chasing that image. Okay, that was you, Mallory. Okay, I thought it might have been you. I thought it might have been you, but I didn't want to get it wrong. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, by the way. That really resonated because I realized I was going for this like image of my life that I wasn't going to get to because I had closed myself off to status seeking behavior in a big way a long time ago. Like we all have it. Like we all have status seeking behaviors. You know, we all want to be liked. We all want to be seen as an authority on something. But I was holding on to it. I was holding on to it as the image of what success looked like. And I've been trying to let that go. I've been slowly letting go. I mean, letting go of that, trying to anyway, because it's the biggest source of my pain when it comes to like the current political environment. and when judging myself, because to me, MAGA, Trump and MAGA represent everything in life that I was supposed to be chasing. Status at all costs. But even though I had decided I wasn't going to do that and I maintained that course, you still feel the loss of status whenever it happens. Even if you've resolved yourself to it, it still stings. And realizing, oh, that's what was upsetting me. That was upsetting me. Yeah, art and illustration is hard to make big. So I was always judging myself for, like, in art, I was always illustrative art. I was always judging myself for the things I wasn't doing. Actually, judging myself for the things I'm not doing is usually a big pattern in my life. But like in that one, it was very acute because I'm always trying to figure out what was going to make me big. And that was completely the wrong approach. It was completely the wrong approach. Like, I really need to be painting what I needed to be painting the way I wanted to paint it. Just flat out, period. Just flat out, period. That's what I needed to be doing. Because I hated, because those pictures that I finished that I considered good, like her, those pictures were done out of love. Those pictures were done out of love and with love. I don't have another word for it because, I don't think of the Kardashians as demonic. I think of them as, I mean, they're sort of demonic. Like, I find them to be very petty and for the most part hollow. They might be evil on an individual level, but I don't consider them evil with a capital E. Trump, I consider evil with a capital E. He represents, Trump is my, whether or not the world sees him this way, Trump is my personal antichrist. And I don't mean that in a satanic way. I don't mean that in a Satanist way, because, you're a Satanist, and, you flip everything upside down. I mean, like, no. If Satan to me is the ideal, then Trump is the antichrist of that. Status at all costs. All costs. All of it. And people act like you're supposed to be doing that. But look how much damage it causes. And how much damage it always causes. Like, that's the thing that gets me. It's like, all this fucking sacrificing so many people and so much money and so much time and so much effort to get something that you will never, ever, 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 ever get. Love. It will never happen. It will never happen. It will never fucking happen. That's sacrificing the thing that you need for the thing that you want. I'm not willing to sacrifice something I need because I need it. I could see why. I could see why the Kardashians be your personal antichrist because like they're pretty for the most part. They've got a flashy lifestyle. They get to be told they're beautiful all the time. But they suck. They're hollow. They're empty. Like, who are they really? You're never going to be loved that way. You're only ever going to be a status object. And once people see you as a status object, and then your love doesn't really mean anything. Isn't that awful? Look, you can get to a point in your life where your love means nothing. Whoo! What? Damn. Like, that's horrible. Well, if Trump is the Antichrist, what would that make Musk? Oh, a bully. A petty bully with a lot of money. That's what it makes him. Now, to be fair, I think Musk might be more destructive. Musk might be more destructive than Trump, but it's not, his evil is not as personal to me. Trump's evil to me is very personal, you know, because I see in him a dark reflection of myself. Because I feel the pull towards that behavior. I feel it and I hate it. I don't like it. I don't know. Well, here's what I consider him. I don't know if that's true number name. I think it's always been a struggle. I think a culture's true values are always a struggle to maintain. Bezos and Zuckerberg, I just hate them. I just hate what they do. Zuckerberg, to me, is the guy. You ever met someone with a face that you just felt was infinitely punchable? That's Zuckerberg to me. Like, I don't want to be in a room with him because I will punch him. Not even because, like, I hate him so much. It'll just be, oh, this guy needs to be punched. You know, like, that's what you do with a face like that. You fucking throw something at it. You throw your fist at it. Because are you fucking kidding me? The guy, like, I don't care. Like, I hate those guys people using autism to, like, excuse those people's behavior because I'm like, no. There are plenty of autistic people who do not come off like robots. They do not come off like robots. Like fucking Zuckerberg comes off like a robot. You know, like a robot designed by alien overlords. Who have no idea what human connection is or empathy. He's just always like he's just always like this. And he keeps his eyes very wide open. And he gets a new haircut. And sometimes he thinks that makes him cool. He will never be cool. Like Musk, he will never be cool. Gary Newman is also autistic. Gary Newman is cool. You know, if you don't know who Gary Newman is, let me give you a quick refresher course. I can't do this for too long. I'll definitely get dinged. But this is like a very early hit of his. One of the founders of synth pop. You're in my car. Okay, if I do much more, I'm just gonna play the whole song and that'll get us in trouble. But like, okay, that's Gary Newman. Gary Newman is autistic. But Gary Newman is cool. You can't blame autism on a person, why a person is uncool. It has nothing to do with that. There is something defective in the coolness centers of Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg just doesn't even have that wiring. They just didn't install him with any level of coolness whatsoever. Yeah, they're little shitheads you knew in 7th grade who wanted to be cool and loved, but also top dog. And when they couldn't get that, they decided to crap all over everything and ruin everything. Yeah. Well, that to me is Elon Musk. Can't be loving to ruin things for everyone. Yeah, that's Musk and Trump. Fuck them. I don't want to walk that path. So the point was, the reason I brought them up is because, like, I see people who follow that path, and that path sucks. You don't take that path and have a good time at an orgy. You don't take that path and get into willing threesomes. You don't take that path and fucking have a cool life. Because everyone knows you're horse shit, and the people around you are just using you for one thing or another. Because that's the world that you've created for yourself. And for some reason, America seems to have decided that that's what you should do. No. None of those riches exist there. I mean, you can pay for their facsimile. You don't want you're paying top. You want to pay top dollar for a cheap knockoff. By all means, go that way. You will pay top dollar for the cheap knockoff of sexual pleasure and intimacy. The cheap ass knockoff. We're not even talking like we're not even talking Mexican Spider-Man backpack. Like, not even that good. Mark Zuckerberg realizes he would never be cool, so he's trying to create a universe in which he is, and he couldn't. Why? Because come on, man. Wonder what put them on that path? Easy. Just civilization. Western civilization put them on that path, or what they consider Western civilization. Bro politics put them on that path. Capitalism put them on that path. Wall Street put them on that path. That's the path that all of us were supposed to fucking follow when we started going to school and going to church. That's the path that they wanted you to take. And with all those people taking that path, a couple of them were going to get to the apex. What do I mean, Western civilization? Okay, here's the thing about Western civilization. Western civilization is all about colonialism. It's all about being a colonizer. Some people will say no. Some people will say it's more than that. But it's the thing that really drives it. It's the thing that makes it distinct from Eastern civilization. Like I said, it's not that Eastern civilization hasn't colonized. It's not that it doesn't have evils. It has great evils, and it's colonized like a motherfucker. But being a colonizer was never its main part of its main identity. All Western civilization has is its relationship to colonialism. And colonial thought and colonial consequences. That's all it's got. The Chinese still have Chinese culture. Like I said, don't get me wrong. It's not that they don't have colonialism. They absolutely do, but there is something else backing it up. Outside of colonialism, what does Western Europe have? What does America have? What does Britain have other than colonialism? And remember, they're the ones we're most closely related to culturally. What do we got? What defines our culture other than that? No. I disagree, number name. You said, I feel Western civilization became that after capital took over. No. And Christianity fell back. Wrong. Christianity is a huge colonial force. It is a gigantic colonial force. Like Christianity, was a colonial force before capitalism was a word. Now, if you want to say that capitalism replaced the position the church used to have, that I would agree with. That I would agree with. Chinese government, but my point is, I'm not saying that the Chinese government isn't evil, and I'm not saying that the history of China hasn't revealed some deep evils. As deep as Western civilization. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They are not innocent. But the thing that is helping them right now is that they have a culture outside of colonialism. But America and Britain and a lot of what we consider Western civilization has wrapped up its cultural identity in the ideals of colonialism. It's why we keep fucking oppressing black people. They used to be property. Property is not supposed to, capital is not supposed to fight back. They were property and capital. That's not supposed to fight back. They're supposed to stay property. Colonialism doesn't know what to do when the fucking natives start rebelling. Doesn't know what to do except subjugate. Doesn't know what to do except subjugate. Either through military force or economic force. And all of the problems people have with neoliberalism come down to that colonial urge. Economic subjugation. Because the core of neoliberalism is not bad. Because there's a core idea there. Neoliberalism is an attempt to establish lasting peace through trade. Not a bad idea, because the one thing that we know is that armies have a hard time crossing trade routes. It's harder to declare war on someone when you're getting something from them. That's the idea of neoliberalism. That's its core idea. And it actually works really well. It ain't perfect. But that core, you can stop long-lasting conflict through trade. That's proven to be true. That has absolutely proven to be true. But those aren't the only forces in our world. And our colonialism is running right now, running right up against neoliberalism. And neoliberalism isn't putting up a very good fight because its key tool is negotiation. But how do you negotiate when it's war they want? Because neoliberalism is right in that it says most people don't want war. They just want a high standard of living. Correct. Mostly. Then you got motherfuckers who just gotta be on top. That's where we start running into problems. That's where neoliberalism doesn't know what to fucking do, because if you negotiate with those people, they'll take everything. Most people won't take everything because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work for what? But not everyone thinks that way. And that all or nothing thinking, that's colonial subjugation. That's colonial subjugation. That is, we take you over, you are the capital now. We owned you. Because that was the big innovation, you could call it that, of the transatlantic slave trade. It wasn't the creation of slavery. Slavery existed. But a slave had value. Why did you want slaves? They were valuable. They did labor for you. But that meant you were ultimately kind of responsible for them, just like you're kind of ultimately responsible for your cattle. It's actually kind of funny that we called it chattel slavery because we treat cattle way better. You ever notice that? It was complete dehumanization The slaves became the capital. They became the capital, and that is why it got so bad. And that, the transatlantic slave trade, that was all Westerners. That was all Western civilization. Completely. That was their idea. It's their idea. They own it. It's one thing to subjugate a people to get them to do what you want. It's another to subjugate people because they're property. And you see them as property, and they're your property. Very different. Is there a way for America to escape that? Of course. Of course there is. You're watching it right now. You're watching it right now because that's exactly what is happening. We've gone past, it's not about colonialism versus neoliberalism right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, those two forces are still in effect. But neoliberalism is not going to remove the colonial force, which is what we want. We want the colonial force diminished. If not defeated, then diminished. That's why everything that why so many things that the Democrats do feel so unsatisfying, is because they're not. It's because their key tool is negotiation. The key tool is negotiation, but they're negotiating with a force that is unreasonable. But they're still doing it because that's what's always worked before. But they're not. But the other side isn't negotiating. They're not negotiating anymore. The conservatives are not negotiating. That's a problem. That means the tactic has to change. It's war they want. They want colonialism to be the dominant force of America. Not just culturally, but economically. We hate America, the conservatives hate Mexicans because they're competition. They sit in this very strange area in American culture. They are both competition and potential capital. What do you want more? The cheap labor or the strong borders? You can't have both. You cannot have both. Won't work that way. Their response is going to be to try to bring slavery back, but oh boy, that's not going to go well. And I don't just mean it's going to become unpopular. What I mean is they will literally have to torture and subjugate the American people in order to get that to happen. How are you going to do that? Prisons. Prisons. You can get cheap labor out of prisoners. They can earn their freedom, and then we can take that earning away from them. So we'll have slaves. But for that, you need a lot more. You need a lot more prisons. You need a lot more police. You want more police.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound
Yeah,
of the
sundown town thinking, Jim Crow subjugation thinking. It's the whole point.
That's the sound of the police.
We want slaves again. And if they won't work, we'll punish them.
Stand clear, done man attack. You can't stand where I stand, you can't walk where I walk. Watch out, we run New York. Policeman come, we bust him out the park. I know this for a fact. You don't like how I act. You claim I'm selling crack, but you be doing that. I'd rather say see ya, cause I would never be ya. Be your officer, you wicked overseer. You hot shot, wanna get props and be a savior. First show a little respect, change your behavior, change your attitude.
This song actually inspired a lot of Babylon, actually.
Change your plan. There could never really be justice on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car's hooked up, you know you want to follow me. Your laws are minimal, cause you won't even think about looking at the real criminal. This has got to cease, cause we be getting hyped to the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the beast. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the beast. Now here's a little truth. Open up your eye while you're checking out the boombox. Check the exercise. Take the word overseer like a sample. Repeat it very quickly and approve, for example. Overseer, 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 officer, 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 officer. Yeah, officer from overseer. You need a little clarity? Check the similarity. The overseer rode around the plantation. The officer is on patrol in our nation. The overseer could stop you what you're doing. The officer will pull you over just when he's pursuing. The overseer had the right to get ill. And if you fought back, the overseer had the right to kill. The officer has the right to arrest. And if you fight back, they put a hole in your chest. They both ride horses. After 400 years, I've got no choices. The police, them have a little gun. So when I'm on the streets, I walk around with a bigger one. I hear it all day. Just so they can run the light and be upon their way.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing about urban crime. The rise of the use. Gangs don't arm themselves. Aren't arm. Gangs don't arm them. Other gangs are not the priority when gangs arm themselves. The police are. They're stocking up for when they have to fight the police, not other gangs. Now, they'll use them to fight other gangs. That's not real. That's not the real thing. Real things are arming themselves against the police. It may not look that way. They may not tell you that's what it is, but that's what it is. That's what it is. So that's what always fucking pisses me off when I see some like redneck talking about like, you know, standing up to tyranny, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's what the Crips and Bloods are doing. That's what the Latin Kings are doing. That's what the Rebel Kings were doing. That's what all of them are doing. They're arming themselves against the police. It just so happens that when you have a lot of guns lying around, you got other violence problems with other people. Hey, you've got the solution right here. Jack, do you think we're headed to the point where the military might actually do a coup d'etat and overthrow Trump and Elon? No. No, I don't think that is. There are a lot more steps that have to happen before that is a possibility. The first step is going to will be massive military style action against the American people will have to happen first. Now, that I think is a possibility. That's only like 2 or 3 steps. That's like 2 or 3 steps away. That's a possibility. But an actual coup d'etat, the American government will have to completely collapse first. I mean, completely. And that's going to take time. That's going to take some time. You know, we've got like a couple of decades. I think we got like a decade before something like that happens, where I think that military actually gets to the American people. That will happen sooner. We are on a path to it, but let me put it this way. Once we get to the point where that's a possibility, we have bigger problems. We will have more immediate problems. I don't think I don't think that the military is going to forcibly rebel against the American government for quite some time. But that doesn't mean it won't get bad for us. It'll get bad for us, but it'll get like they're working on it. They're working on it. They just haven't gotten that far yet. Do you think we will actually go to war with Canada? No. No. Not in the near future, anyway. It could be in the cards later based on things that are happening now. But I mean, like, it might happen in my lifetime, but it's unlikely. I think it's unlikely. I hope it's unlikely. If things were not Trump, I would say it's still laughable. Because, okay, so here's how going to war works. Only Congress can declare war. Period. Only Congress can declare war. And Congress needs a 2/3 majority to do that. You need a 2/3 majority in both houses of Congress to declare war. When has that ever happened? Last time that happened was Iraq. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying that Canada literally would have to attack us. And I don't see that happening anytime in the near future. I don't see Canada being the aggressor. Yeah, we need to be attacked first. You know, and that's just based around human nature, because it's even if all the Republicans voted for war, there wouldn't be enough. There wouldn't be enough for an actual declaration of war. You have to get Democrats on board. Mm-mm. And because of their negotiatory, I don't even know if that's a word, but because negotiation is their big tactic, they're unlikely to be willing to go for war unless we're attacked. That's why so many of the things we've done are police actions. Yeah, fear would have to grip the American people in a way that it hasn't before. Not saying it can't happen, but the things that have to happen in order for it to happen are extremely unlikely because they're outside of our control. In order for America to declare war on someone, we have to have felt like we completely lost control. We are more likely to go with war with Russia. You're way more likely to go to war with Russia. But think about all the things that we would do before that happened. One, unconditional support of the Ukraine. That's not likely to happen. B, declaring, what was it? Croatia? Basically, we have to have a land argument with Russia. Like a no, that's not yours kind of argument. Not likely. That's not likely to happen. It could. It's on the table, but those cards are unlikely to be played. Crimea. Yeah. If we go to war over we could go to war with Russia over Crimea. We theoretically could. You know, we're unlikely to make that declaration though. For said reasons. It is far more likely that at some point we will just outright support Ukraine. That's way more likely. Even in this political environment. Even in this political environment, it's more likely. That's not to say that we won't use military actions against Russia. We absolutely will. It just won't be war. Like, war is a quantum jump. War is a quantum leap. Like, even the Vietnam War wasn't war. The Iraq War wasn't war on that level. So that central neoliberal like conceit of trade stops warfare is holding. That's holding. The way I see it is it's far more likely that military action gets used against the American people, although that's not that likely. It's more likely. I almost guarantee it'll have to happen first. Because someone's going to have a reason to invade America. You know, another Iraq war, maybe war with Iran. Which would be extremely bad. That's possible. Like, that could happen. But Canada? They're one of our biggest military allies. Think about that. We always talk about trade with Canada, but we don't talk about Canada's military. They're actually a huge military ally. So's Mexico for that matter. You don't think about that, do you? They don't talk about that. That's not talked about that much. Well, it's true. Canada and Mexico are our biggest military allies. The sword arm of the West is greatly diminished by any two of those fighting. Canada will never attack Mexico because it first has to get through the United States. Mexico will never attack Canada because first it has to get through the United States. And the United States is unlikely to attack either of the others because that would trigger a war with the other. America starts a war, there is no way it does not fight a war on two fronts. There's no way it doesn't happen. The minute if we go to war with Canada, we're also at war with Mexico. I guarantee you. I guarantee that. We go to war with Mexico, we're also going to go to war with Canada. And the United States military will be diminished immediately. Not like unable to fight, but diminished. Like that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Everything will have to be concentrated on that. Middle East goes to Russia. Middle East will be ceded to Russia. NATO might help. But you got a problem there, too. Also, what do we get out of this war? Nothing. We get nothing. Oh, it's the spread of American culture. Once again, colonial thinking, right? That's colonial thinking. It's colonial thinking. Right now, we're in a huge fight for the soul of America. And unfortunately, black and brown people are right in the dead center of it. I mean, of course, right? I mean, that's a history. That's the pattern with us. But no, we're in a huge fight for the soul of America. That's why the fighting is so bitter. And in my opinion, America either has to abandon has to learn to let go of its colonial ways, of its colonial origins, of its colonial thinking. Or it falls. Now, the good thing is we don't have to get rid of all the colonial thinking. We don't have to give up all of it. I would like to give up all of it, but it's not necessary, but it's not strictly necessary. Believe it or not, if neoliberalism just comes out as the dominant force over colonialism, that'll be enough. That'll be enough. I actually recommend that you study up on neoliberalism so that you understand it, since it's such a major force in America. It's a major philosophical force in America. I recommend you study it. You know, because a lot of people peg neoliberalism as one of our problems. But very few people understand what it actually does and what it is actually trying to do. Because we see it only as the enemy of socialism. Technically, it doesn't have to be. Socialism absolutely is the enemy of colonialism. It absolutely is. In a way, what has happened is that conservative forces have convinced a lot of neoliberal forces that socialism is the enemy, but it's not. It's not. We could be very, very socialist and still be neoliberal. In my opinion, anyway. Middle East goes to China? No. No. Middle East goes to Russia. China is about as big as it's going to get in terms of territory. It will economically overtake us, but that's a different situation. Economic dominance is not the same as military dominance. They're related, but they're not the same. For example, we, America, are living proof that economic dominance does not equate to a higher standard of living for all citizens. We're proof of that. China could be the dominant economic force, and our level of fucking oh god, I just said the word and then I lost it. Our standard of living could go up while China becomes the dominant economic force of the planet. Both those things could absolutely fucking happen. Because they don't have anything to do with each other. The method of wealth distribution has more to do with that. Way more to do with that. Just look at those little European countries that practice socialism. Standard of living is very high. Very good. They don't have people starving to death. They don't have homeless problems. At least not to the extent that America does. Or Britain. And ours is worse than Britain. Do you think China will try to take Taiwan? I don't know. I don't think China is in a position to take Taiwan at the moment. Because they would have to be able to take it. They would either have to be completely crazy. I mean, completely fucking insane. Because a military victory against Taiwan would be Pyrrhic. Yeah, they would win. But overall, they will lose. Taiwan controls too much trade. It controls too much Pacific trade. You go to war with Taiwan, you're cutting yourself off not just from Taiwan, but America and Japan and most of the Southeast Asia. Not to mention Australia and South America and Canada. The minute they declare, the minute they try to use military force to take over Taiwan, they're boxed in. Their growth stops immediately. And there's no way around it. There's no way around that. Because those are forces outside of China's control. They can bully people into complying. They can threaten. But they can't actually make them do it at the moment. The best way for them to take over Taiwan is without military force, which is what they're hoping for, which is what they want. That's unlikely to happen. They know it's unlikely to happen. But what's better, a potential victory that you wait for, or a conflict that will definitely cost you? There's no way around that cost. Taiwan, to say nothing of the fact that Taiwan will fight. Taiwan will fight. Taiwan will fight. They'll fight like the Ukraine. It's why they don't fuck around. Taiwan does not fuck around when it comes to influence from China. They arrested their own president over that. Arrested a sitting president. Arrested, convicted. Not impeached, convicted of high crimes. He's currently cooling his ass off in a Taiwan jail. His family's persona non grata. Yeah, the conquest would be too costly. All your most your foreign trade stops. Because that's where they get all the money from. They're not using the Silk Road anymore. Not the literal Silk Road. Why bother to schlep all that shit over land when you've got all this fucking ocean? Fuck that. Use damn airplanes and them fucking boats. Habitual line crossing refers to China as West Taiwan. Well, that's a bit presumptuous. Culturally, he's correct. You know, because Taiwan is what currently houses and preserves all the pre-communist Chinese culture. That's another thing that's very interesting. Not even communism could not completely strip China of its culture. It stripped away a lot of it, but not all of it. Remember when you could just march an army to get what you want? Never. The answer is never. You never could do that. An army. That's why they want robots, except the problem is like none of the... Okay. people love the idea of a robot army, right? Because, oh, you don't have to feed them. You don't have to bullshit. Wrong, 1,000 times wrong. Oh, they don't have to eat like a human does, except they use electricity. Oh, they don't die like human soldiers, except when they break. Don't get me wrong, a robot army might give you a lot of advantages in a lot of situations, but it's not a replacement for a regular standing army. It can't be. It has to be the enhancement. It's like a cyber arm. It's the enhancement. It can't be the thing itself. Won't work that way. Won't work that way. Talk to anyone who's had to be a drone operator for the military. Yeah, you could find a new guy to do it, but you can't get the same people to keep doing it. Eventually, they tap out. EMP could take out a robot army. Yep. Lots of ways to destroy a robot army. Lots of ways. Hell, it's probably easier to become invisible to a robot army than it is a human army. Mao and you share the same birthday. You capitalist running dog. Sorry, I always think of capitalist running dog whenever I hear Mao, whenever I think of Mao, the little red book. Yeah, what was that? What was that TikTok replacement that was literally called something like the Red Book? I was like, what? Wow. Not even hiding it, Yeah, computers are bad at adapting to changing conditions because they're not actually intelligent. Turns out intelligence is more than just mimic behavior. Red Note. Thank you. That was it. Red Note. I was like, really? Yeah. Wow. That was. Yeah, so people were like, what? I'm like, you want to leave the Chinese app in order to go to the one that is literally called Red Note. Really? I mean, okay. I mean, I know what's wrong with that. I just stopped using TikTok altogether. Fuck it. Yeah, TikTok is definitely stealing your data, but it's not. There's a quantum difference between TikTok and Red Note as far as how in bed with the Chinese government it is. One's in bed with it. The other is simply an extension of it. Now, don't get me wrong. Being in bed with it is bad enough. But being an extension is even worse. It's even worse. Yeah, because here's the thing about intelligence. There are two emotions that are needed, as far as we know, because this is how animals work. It's how life on the planet works. It's all intelligence currently on the planet works. It needs two things. It needs a little reward whenever it gets something right, and it needs to be able to get frustrated when something doesn't work. It needs two emotional states. in order for its pattern recognition and its data synthesis to work, you could see this in animals. You could see this particularly in crows. The difference between the intelligence of a crow, why a crow is so smart, is because they latch on to something because they get mad. They get that's frustration. Oh, this thing didn't work like it was supposed to. Why the fuck not? And they'll obsess on it. They'll latch on to it and be like, I'm going to make this motherfucker work. But in order to make the motherfucker work, you got to think about a specific goal. You have to be able to identify your goal. And that frustration helps you identify the goal. The goal is not to put the little coin in the slot and get the food to come out. The goal is to get the motherfucking food. That takes frustration and intelligence. And it also takes that little reward when you get it right. When you get what you're after, what you want. So, and you have to be able to identify the goal outside of the action to do that. And to do that, you need a reward and frustration. That's why in art, you're always supposed to work through frustration, because it's the only thing you can do. You're frustrated, work through it. You're not failing because you're frustrated. It's actually part of the process. That's why they're like, if you love the process of doing the art, you'll do well. Because that's what gets you through the frustration. That's what carries that frustration to victory. If you don't have that, if you actually have learned to hate the process, you're never going to get there. Even with the knowledge that you could potentially break through, you're not going to get there. Don't torture yourself, is what I'm saying. Don't torture yourself unless you enjoy the little bits. You could find regular bits that you love. Like, why? Oh, not the one I wanted, but let's see. Oh, no, let me see. All right, let me get a little spiritual at you. Let me get a little spiritual at you. And we're going to go to this big titty Lilith picture. It's a great example. So, why was I able to finish this one? I had all the same problems that I always have with art while I was working on it. So why did I finish this one? Because I was in love. Because I was in love with her. That's why. That love carried me through the frustration of the process. And this was for no one. This was for no one else. This was purely for the art itself. If this was for someone else, I wouldn't have gotten there. I wouldn't have gotten there because I wasn't at the point where doing something of this quality was easy. Now, I've seen artists get to the point where like high quality is easy for them. They're still frustrated with their work, but the level of completion that they get to before they are done is way higher. Way higher. That's what being a professional artist is. The stuff that they're paying you to do, that's the bullshit. That's the horse shit that you fucking sell. That's your snake oil. Oh, yeah, I mean, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not that. She is not that kind of picture. I will sell prints of it. People can give me money for it. But that ain't changing. That ain't changing until I say it does. Because that one's for me. And that's what I mean by something has to be able to carry you through the frustration. And if you enjoy the process, that works really well. If you just love the interplay of color, if you just love the interplay of form, if you like shadow and light, that's what carries you through. That's what makes it. That's the thing. What I'm saying is your client is actually paying you to be your own dime store version. A client basically gets to ask you to be your own knockoff. And that's all they can ask. Well, I mean, they could ask for more, but let's be reasonable. What's going to mean more to you, the one that you do for yourself or the one that you did for the money? That's going to be the one you did for yourself is going to be better. Every time, every time, every time. So when I look to hire an artist, say for Babylon, I always go, okay, what if this was 25% worse? Because that's what I'm probably going to get. No matter how much money I use and no matter how much I pitch and scream, I'm not going to get better than 75%. And if I do, ooh, bargain. For that matter, if I do consistently have my expectations blown away, I want to have a really long relationship with that artist. Because they're that good. Because they're that fucking good. There are definitely some artists I've worked with that are that fucking good. But yeah, if you're one of the artists I've worked with, like we've exchanged money for goods and services rendered, one of the calculations I used was, well, what if this was 75? What if this was 25% worse? Could I live with that? Would that be enough? It is a literal question I asked myself. I look at your best pieces and then I go, all right, what if it sucked more? Would that be okay? Do with that information what you will. But know that if I didn't admire you, I wouldn't have asked you to fucking do anything in the first place. Because I can get shit art. Trust me, I can make it myself. Uh, Let's see. So who's still here? Who's still here? Oh, quite a few people apparently. Oh, we passed the 30 mark. Damn. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, everyone who's here, just put in a thing in the chat. Just a hello. Honestly, not a bad metric. I didn't think it was that bad metric. I don't think it's that bad a metric. Mallory's still here. Yeah, thanks again, Mallory. I really actually did appreciate that one comment that sent me on this little part of my journey of self-discovery. Sun Wizard, number name, Scarabray. I've seen that name so many times, Scarabray, and not just in the context of you and the Scarabray in the chat. What is it? What is that word? Is it like a web comic or something? Is it something that appears in a web comic? Does it mean something in a particular language? But Scarabray, for some reason, I've seen it before. I've seen it in a couple of places. Like, is it a furry thing? Because I think I've seen it in connection with furry art. Oh, all right. Blood sugar is great. We're doing good. It's a place in Orkney up in Scotland. Huh. Does it have a particular reputation? The Orkney Archipelago of Scotland. Scarabray, two words. Yeah, that's how I normally see it, is in 2 words. Gained UNESCO World Heritage status. Neolithic. Oh, I see. It's got a lot of like pre-Roman civilization stuff. Oh, a lot of it looks very pretty. Not a lot of people, but like coastline looks nice. Huh. Okay, interesting. So it's a literal place in Scotland. Okay. Scarabray. Okay. I know I'm saying that like wrong, but whatever. Man. I did see today I did see Companion. That was a good movie. We'll be doing a vlog on that, recording a vlog on that tomorrow. So you should get that before the week is out. I do recommend the movie. It is very good. It's not as crazy as Barbarian, which was another movie that the same group of people did. It's not as crazy as that, but it's really good. It does have a lot of twists and turns. And if you're really adroit at picking apart a plot. You'll see the twists and turns coming, but there's still twists and turns you're unlikely to have seen before. It's called Companion. It's kind of a horror movie. Like, it's horror adjacent. It's definitely genre. I don't know why we call it genre, but whatever. Like, everything's in a genre. Hard Eyes is fun. Hard Eyes is fun. That's another movie we're gonna vlog tomorrow. It didn't go where I would have liked it to go, but it went into a very good place. It's a movie that fucks with you, and that I appreciated. I love a good trick. I will always love a good trick. Oh man. Yeah, I recommend Hard Eyes. Man. Well, it's past midnight here. I feel like I'm running a little bit out of steam. It's been like 3.5 hours, which is pretty good. That's a pretty respectable stream, I think. So I think we'll start to close it out. You know, won't go just quite yet, but I will start to close things out. Does anyone have any questions for me before I go? You know, since I got y'all here, are there any other questions that that I didn't answer, particularly questions that you asked that I haven't answered because I didn't see it go by in the stream or in the chat stream? I'll just smoke for a minute. Don't you wish you had one of these? How long have you and the Countess been married? 22 years. 22 years this July. You need a horror alt history? What reading do you recommend for neoliberalism? Oh boy. There are a lot. My best recommendation is to start with the Wikipedia and check out the references. Check out look at the reference section that it uses. You know, the whole DeepSeek chatting. Oh, taking Chat GPT's lunch. Oh, what was the question? Was it, do I think that that's going to be the end of like AI or something? If that was it, I don't know if it won't be the end of AI, but it's definitely going to put a lot of crimps in a lot of plans that people had for AI and investing in it. It's going to put a lot of crimps in that. Yeah, I think it's going to, I think the bubble's going to burst because of that, if it hasn't technically already. I don't know, because I don't work in investment circles. You would probably want to ask someone who was into investment capital on that. Because if the bubble does burst on AI, we're not going to notice it. No, I haven't cracked open DaVinci Resolve. I downloaded it, and now I downloaded it so long ago, I don't know where the install file is anymore. I mean, I assume it's in my downloads. No, apparently not. All right, looks like I'll have to download it again. But I also haven't had a need to edit any videos. So, like, I haven't had a video I've been working on. That might change soon. I do want to put together a video for Babylon, but before I do that, I kind of have to have an idea what the video is going to be. And I don't think that that's going to, I have a feeling that's not going to really happen until the Kickstarter page itself is almost ready to go. The video will probably, I'm a little worried we're not going to make the April mark, but I can say confidently that it will happen this year. The Kickstarter will happen this year. I don't want to make any predictions other than that because, like, I keep having to push things back because it turns out that something like that shit takes a while. Got to put the best foot forward, and making sure I do that is what's taking all the time. Because I could just slap together a fucking Kickstarter and just put it up now, but I don't think that that'd be a good idea. I don't think people would understand what the game was, or what the world was, or what the product was if I did that. It'd likely get overlooked, and it would be not wasted effort, but wasted stress. I don't want to do that. Let's see. You got VAs line up. I know a few. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the monkey looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. What's the other? I'm kind of looking forward to Thunderbolts. I'm kind of looking forward to Captain America. Like, Captain America is definitely a movie I'm going to see. As the monkey, I will also see the monkey. That's coming out later this month. Captain America comes out this week. I will probably see that next Tuesday. And then the week after that, I think is... No. The monkey is like 2 weeks after that. I know I'm going to enjoy Captain America at least because it's a movie that I want to see that I don't have to vlog. If we do a vlog, sure. But, like, we're not Marvel guys. I mean, we're Marvel fans, but we're not, like... We focus on horror. So we see a horror movie, we vlog it. You know, the expectation is we'll vlog it. But with Marvel movies, it's like, yeah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And that takes a lot of the pressure off. So I could just sit back and, like, I could just sit back and fucking enjoy that movie. I'm hoping it's good. Yeah, the monkey seems dumb in a good way. I'm looking forward to that. Excuse me. Alrighty. All right. Since the questions seem to have stopped, it's probably a good time to sign off. I want to thank everybody. Oh, Flashman. Hold on, let me check something. I'm going to look into something on the 14th of March. If it goes the way I hope it does, I'll ask you to keep that weekend clear. Yeah, we'll talk more. We'll talk more about that like later. Let me just make sure of something. All right. So the 14th of March is a Friday. So just to mention that. All right. Oh, around your birthday? Oh, okay. I'll try harder. We'll try harder to make thing happen. All right. So until next time, everybody, thank you for coming down. I particularly enjoyed tonight's stream. I thank you for being here. And until next time, which maybe tomorrow, I'll probably come on tomorrow, do something around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Satan, I love y'all very much. Take care, everybody.